Good.
Okay, we're going to call our regular meeting to order. If everyone would please rise and salute the flag, and then we're going to have a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Stolen?
Here.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Here.
Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Here.
Council President Ritchie?
Here.
Mayor Sealy?
Here.
We don't have any minutes this meeting. We had computer problems.
I don't think you read the notice yet.
I didn't, I'm going to read it now.
Oh, start over again. Go ahead.
The notice requirement provided in the Open Public Meeting Act has been satisfied. Notice that this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings with the Spotswood Borough Council on December 30, 2016. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and the Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey.
Okay, no minutes this time. I'll read the ordinances again for a vote. Bond ordinance number 2017-03M, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of a sewer trailer jetter, appropriating $85,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of 80,000 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Make a motion, we pass this ordinance on the first reading and set the public hearing date for June 7, 2017.
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Ritchie.
Yes.
We have bond ordinance number 2017-04M, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of various general capital equipment, appropriating $305,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $289,000 bond and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Make a motion, we pass this ordinance on the first reading, set a public hearing date of June 7, 2017.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Ritchie.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we have the consent agenda, but we will be pulling Resolution 2017-88 and putting that in the resolution authorizing. Council President, council members, I'll take a motion to accept the resolutions on consent agenda, Resolutions 2017 and 2017-86, 87, and then we go to 2089, 90, and 91.
Make a motion to adopt the resolutions on the consent agenda 2017-86, 87, 89, 90, and 91.
Second?
Second, yeah.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Ritchie.
Yes.
We have a resolution authorizing Resolution 2017-88, resolution approving the 2016 Borough of Spotswood Volunteer Fire Department LoSAP participants. Whereas the Borough of Spotswood established a length of service awards for the Volunteer Fire Department and a First Aid Squad by Ordinance 2001-11 on July 2nd, 2001. Whereas the Borough of Spotswood LoSAP provides annual contribution to eligible members that meet criteria stated in the above ordinance. Whereas the fire chief has certified to the Borough of Spotswood LoSAP plan administrator, CFO, per the attached list, those who have met the criteria for the 2016 awards program in accordance with the LoSAP regulations. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. 1, the Borough Council hereby approves the attached list of Spotswood Volunteer Fire Department members who have met the criteria for the year 2016. 2, the municipal clerk and the fire chief must post the certified list for a period of 30 days for membership review. The list shall be posted at the office of the municipal clerk and at the Spotswood Volunteer Fire Department. 3, upon the completion of the 30 days, providing no appeals from the fire department membership, the LoSAP plan administrator, CFO, shall make the appropriate arrangements for payments into the qualified members' accounts established with Lincoln Financial.
Make a motion to pass the resolution?
Second?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Abstain.
Council President Ritchie.
Yes.
Resolution 2017-88 is accepted.
Comments from the council. John?
Yeah, council from the council, okay. Well, I went to the Office on the Age there. That was Wednesday. They had a fabulous breakfast over there. The departments did a great job. Police, fire, EMS, EMT there, chief over there, and the chief over there. They were there, did a good job. Your crew did a great job, both sides. Fabulous breakfast, right across the board. Whoever couldn't make it, next year's another year, hopefully. It was great, gotta say. Very nice. Very good. That was great. So that's what I have right now, President. That's what I have.
Kurt?
Nothing for tonight.
Okay. March?
I was also, too, at the breakfast, the EMS breakfast. I want to thank Dave Nichols and his crew. Chief Gent was there serving those great food, and the police, of course, were there. And Ed Shapley and who's Phil Corbacero? What's his rank?
Captain.
Captain. I can never remember ranks, as Chief Genty knows. So they were all there. My residents, our residents, were very appreciative. There was actually 2 seatings, at 9 and at 10. Dawn was there, also McDonald in attendance. I expressed our appreciation from the mayor and the council to the residents that were there at the 10 o'clock seating. And you know, truly, free food brings out everybody, but they all said how great they feel about our emergency services and how much in support they are of them, as we are. So it was a very nice event, and with lots of good food, supplied by Top Hat Catering. Pat Donnelly helps us with the pancake breakfast every year. So kudos to him and to the services, emergency services, for organizing that for our residents. The other thing I went to, Dawn, what was the name of that meeting, for the WRA meeting?
Water Resources Association for
Okay.
Middlesex County.
Yeah, the Water Resources Association meeting I attended from the county. I expressed our displeasure with the South Central Flood Commission, which we had running up until 4 years ago, and which they have discontinued meetings on. I offered to chair it, to bring it back, because I think that's the only way we can take a regional look at our lake and make some improvements to regional drainage issues. They had, at that meeting, what was really interesting to me, Cranberry is approving a 78-home development on 75 acres of land that now accepts rainwater. It's farmland, right? So the rainwater goes into the land. Well, they're building another 75 home, 75 acres. They're going to pave that all over. So that's another area that's close to Spotswood that is being paved over. There's another proposal that they're going to consider at an emergency meeting in June in East Brunswick. And I think I'm wrong, but I thought they said 1 million square feet is going to be covered in East Brunswick somewhere that they're developing. So I'm going to tell you right now, we're the lowest spot in this area. Maybe Bruce can speak a little more about that. But with all of this development that happens around us, this impacts us in Spotswood. And we need to be really talking to our neighboring towns and communicating with them about what happens to this rainwater. If it's not falling in and going into the land, it's going to be draining down to our lake. And that's why I really made it clear that with these developments being approved, we really need to have a regional approach to handling the water in this area and making sure that it's not falling on our residents to do improvements to that lake, because it serves a regional focus. So I want you to know that I did offer to chair the South Central Commission if it's resurrected, and actually I got a second. Daria Lucas from Jamesburg, who was a councilwoman. She offered to co-chair the commission. And I spoke to George Ververides from the county engineering division, and I told him to please consider resurrecting that commission. And he said we should write a letter. I came back and told Dawn, and it seems like we have written a letter as a council to ask for this to be resurrected and to address this issue. So we're going to be pursuing that, and I know Mayor Sealy is going to do what he can to advance this so that we can start looking at the lake and the needs we have with that for drainage. So it was a busy couple weeks, but, and we also went to Clearwater. We went to an evening meeting over there at the request of Mary Kate, who's head of their club association. And there was probably about 60 or 70 residents there who all applauded the Crescent Avenue improvements. I gave high marks to Mr. Councilman Malillo for driving that. Told them how to access the council meetings on the YouTube channel, on the cable, because I think a lot of them, you know, won't come out to a meeting, but they could benefit from the knowledge that's shared on these tapes and about what's going on in town. There was some questions again about sand in the water coming into their hot water heaters, and Dawn addressed that right away. I actually texted her right after the meeting, and I know that she had Fred Waters. She put an email out to him to ask about that, to investigate that, because that was an issue probably about 18 months ago. And otherwise, like I said, it was a good back and forth with them. Donna Falkenberry was just outstanding. She presented about all of the different programs that are available to the seniors through the Office on Aging, and was a good meeting. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Was that? Nothing. Mr. Mayor?
Got nothing?
That's something to say.
Okay. Three things. Probably in the month of June or July, we're going to have Fred Walters bring in asset management group. We had talked about this previously, the group that wants to manage our water tower, talk about the code as well as maintaining it. So that's happen. I don't know the exact date yet. I got this nice little letter, maybe all of you got it, for Dear Officer Ed. Responsive Police Department, thanks for planning with us on Earth Day. We had much fun. It's from Troop 83807. Two nice photos. They planted a garden behind our police department here. It's nice to see them get involved with the Girl Scouts. They always hear about the Boy Scouts. It's time to hear about the Girl Scouts. That was a nice thing. Parade countdown. 7 days. I'm counting. I cannot wait for the 8th day. It looks
That's
like,
a good one.
Unfortunately, right now, of course, it's way too early because we know weathermen love the yes. Right now, they're talking rain. Let's hope not, but we're going rain or not. And this year, the only change will be Schweitzer's. We'll be lining up in the parking lot to the right of the building, a huge parking lot, because as I understand it, they're closed down for that entire weekend because there's a lot more room, and we can actually get everybody in line, so it's not that chaotic run to find out who's next. A bunch of new groups are marching this year, as I understand it. The police department built a float to put in the parade, which that's got to be a first.
Yeah.
St. Bart's Buffaloes, which competes for our football Pop Warner kids as much as GVC does. They'll be in the parade this year. We're looking at about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. It looks to be a good day. I'll see everybody there. And let's not all forget that it's all about those who died, so we can sit here and enjoy this. And I believe that's it for me.
And I just have a quick question. When are we leaving from the Legion on the cemetery tour?
6.
Did it got pushed? I thought it got pushed back a little bit later.
Well, we leave there actually at 6:45.
Okay.
But if you get there at 6:45, you may be watching the bus pull out.
Okay.
Thank you. Before we open it to the public, I'm going to let Bruce do his engineering
Thanks.
report.
Again, I apologize for being late again. Your next meeting's on a Wednesday. That won't be an issue. And then after that, I think the schedule breaks where it's independent nights, so.
Mr. President, I want to...
Dawn, did you bring up the floor? Garage floor?
Nope.
Okay. Want me to?
Yep.
Okay. So the first item is the water treatment plant. You have on your agenda to close that out. There's a couple little, there were 3 punch list items. One has been addressed. The other ones are very easy for them to address. It's just getting the parts and pieces. What I've suggested to Dawn is we process this, which allows FEMA to feel comfortable with the project coming to closure. We hold on to the check until I give her the green light that these other items were taken care of, and then we are in good hands. We have the maintenance bond, so that will be fine. Mady Avenue Phase 2, we received the bids on the 18th. We've reviewed them. I have them with me. Pat, I have the copy of the letter for you. Mr. Dagnan, I have the bids for you and a copy of the letter for you. It'll go out electronically tomorrow. We wrapped it up around 6 o'clock tonight, so that's why I brought it with me. I wanted to make sure we moved it along. The EIT, we're still working with the auditor on that. The Emergency Services Building, the architect gave me an update on the project, saying that they're working on the interior wall insulation. Once the electrical work is completed, they will install the drywall. The generator is now installed. The garage doors are delivered and being installed. The garage floor matter must be decided, which is something I'll talk more about, and then the concrete driveway and aprons can be constructed. The contractor and the architect have been explaining to us that where the borough had 2 doors on the bays that are to the right, and it's going to 1 door, the floor has a pretty severe cross slope in it with a drop of between 5 and 6 inches from the left-hand corner to the right-hand corner. And with a single door, that will not work. So we collectively have looked over various ways of addressing it, but the bottom line is the right way to do it is to take that floor out and pour it new. I apologize, I don't have the number with me. Dawn, do you happen to? Was it?
Yes, I do. You want to take one and pass it down?
Sure. Thank you. So that's slab, garage 2 slab, right, Dawn? Is that the one?
Garage 1 on the bottom.
Okay. Show me where. Okay. So this was prepared by the architect. I'm just interfacing between the architect and you folks. So the partial slab replacement at garage 1, is that supposed to be partial, or is that the whole thing?
That's all the thing.
Yeah, that doesn't, okay, which is really the right way to do it, because otherwise it'd be ponding water somewhere in that bay, which wouldn't be good, is $33,600. So that is the decision to be made by the governing body. I think it's the right choice, because for years to come, you don't want to deal with a problem there. The door will sit properly. It will also provide more grade for the driveway out to the sidewalk and the curb, which is a better thing in the end as well. So if you are able to make that decision tonight, we'll pass it along to the contractor and the architect, and they can move forward with that, follow it up with the appropriate paperwork. And after that, then the driveway can go in, and the outside of the building will start to get wrapped up.
So will the bays, the 2 separate doors, will they both have the same finished floor elevation, or will one be higher than the other?
I believe the intention is to make that one elevation. I don't want to speak for the architect. The contractor put some grades together. If 0 is here, it's like 6 at the other corner. So it makes sense to bring that up, but I don't know how they're going to pitch it within the building, or if they're just going to pour it flat. But this will ensure there's a lip at the rear door as well, so water, driving rain doesn't come in there as well. The new door that was constructed where the boat might come in or the trailer might come in. So again, I want to speak for him, because the building is his project, but we've talked about this, and we just didn't determine a final grading plan for it. I defer to him on that, but I do agree with the proposal to pull what's there and to do it right.
But the other bay is not poured yet as well?
The other bay was repaired. You may recall the
Right.
perimeter of that sank, or the perimeter was taken out, the other portion sank, and now there's these two lips that they were going to try to feather in, but I believe the intention is, by doing this, is to bring it up so that those don't have to be feathered in either. Everything will kind of be on one
And
plane.
that's actually a positive. We had always looked at how flat the apron
Yeah.
and driveway were, so if we can get that.
Oh, I couldn't understand why that lip was there until he stripped everything away, and then it revealed itself. That was closing the gap on the garage doors. The asphalt bump that was there, I thought it was just to keep water from going backwards, but when they pulled it away, it was real clear what was going on. So I think his recommendation's a sound one. I think it's in the best interest of the building over time, but it's entirely your decision.
No, we're not planning for 6 months now, we're planning for the next 50 years. So if we have to do this to make sure it's done the right way, we're going to do it. I
Yep.
totally support it.
Great.
All righty, and then the state aid program, which is the last formal item on the update, is no response from the DOT yet for any of the towns. An item that I didn't put on the list, because it's really not a capital project, but I handed out to you, I was asked to go out and look at the roof on the firehouse.
I thought that's where it was from, because I had a talk
Pardon me?
with Chief. I talked with Chief Genty, he was telling me.
Okay. So
Thank you, Bruce.
I went out on the roof with one of the folks from our structural department, and we walked the roof, and we agree it's in bad shape. The only concern I have, well, I have a couple concerns for you. The borough has solicited a proposal from a contractor who's doing the building, the other building actually, the emergency services building roof. And and they give it a price, but I think there's going to be weak underlayment, the boards that support the roof. When walking up there, some areas are firm and some areas are absolutely not. So my concern is if you were to start putting bonding together for $50,000, you might wind up at considerably more, and that's not known until you peel it back and you find out what's there.
Yeah.
It is in bad shape. It's a very thin membrane that was put up there. It's dry. I think you could seal it temporarily and then put something out to bid if that's the direction you chose. I don't know if I don't believe it really qualifies as an emergency because it's a roof and it's not falling in, it didn't collapse. The little roof, which is overhanging the walkway to get into the building, I'm not sure why it was built that way, but it's level when you look at it, but it's pitched backwards towards the wall of the main building, and there's a drain that's recessed quite a bit. To me, the first thing I would do is eliminate that drain and see if they could pitch it with the foam, the tapered foam, and put gutter on it. Put a gutter on it and a leader drain next to the other one, and that would probably go away. I mean, it would still be a membrane roof because I don't think it would have a very steep pitch, but I think in the long run, that's definitely something to look at, or at least pursue with the roofing contractor to see what that would be. Whether you pay him to do a temporary repair, you have Public Works do the temporary repair, and then you'll either get an amended proposal, but at this price, if it's not an emergency, you kind of have to go to bid. So,
Well, usually in a bid, don't you have a square footage of structure if so-
Always.
Always, so that would be.
either that or an allowance, but usually by the square foot, so you're locked in, We
Right.
just did 3 roofs in another town, and you absolutely put numbers in that. You put it for the trim around the edge, because when you peel that off on a flat roof, along the inside the soffit, you can find bad boards. There's a number of things that you can run into. So I'm no expert on it. That's why I brought somebody from the structural department who took all the pictures. So whatever you want to do, let me know. But I do think maybe ask the contractors to take another look at this and at least see about that other roof, and even look at revising that proposal, maybe to anticipate.
Well, like everybody here knows that I'm in the fire department and everything, I do get the phone call when it rains, and I call the chief, call the president. All right, I have a video of the water coming through the ceiling coming through the light fixtures and the alarm system.
The other thing, if I may, I noticed, and I'm not challenging you on that, I'm supporting you with that, because there are 2 old vents that look like they were probably for cooking hoods. You could move them back and forth. I'm told they're not even being used. I don't know if it's true, but somebody from the fire department could confirm them. They should be eliminated. The wood that's underneath the air conditioner unit, as well as the other devices that are held up, the piping that you can see braced, has been up there for as long as that roof. It looks old. It should be replaced. When you take those units off that I spoke of, there's wood that's wrapped in roofing material, which is traditional, but when you open that up, you have no idea what's going to be there. There's screws and all kinds of stuff all over the roof just from people doing work up there over the year. There's penetrations where it looks like somebody took a pipe accidentally and was punching holes in it, and there's photographs in there. It's got a little pattern to it. So there's no question that the roof needs to be repaired, but like those 2 hoods, I mean, they rattle, they move. The antenna that's up there, I don't know if you still use it, but it's bent over on the little thin pipe.
Antennas they still do use.
I mean, that's got to be corrected. So I think there's more to it, and my big concern for you is if you were to do this.
Well, I didn't see. What are you looking at?
A quote that the borough, John Mayer got from a contractor for doing that roof, but I think there's other things that, so if you're anticipating 50, and I'm not trying to scare you, but what if it was 75 or 80? You know, it might be when you peel that back, you don't know until it's opened up.
Okay.
The other question is that too, is that the water up on the roof is coming down into the mechanical room, and it's also going into the heating system. If you open that heating system, it's all rusted out.
Yeah, I mean, roofs are something no one wants to
So-
do, but it's something you have to do to protect your asset. I mean, if you don't get that fixed,
A good heavy rain, we got water coming inside the bay
Fix it, you gotta fix it.
Well,
and and also into the vestibule and in the mechanical room.
So these are things, as you open it up, you're going to find, and it's going to drive the price, has the potential to drive the price up and drive it up considerably.
What would you consider an appropriate number for bonding purposes?
I don't know, and I apologize, I didn't measure the
Assuming
length
your
and the
worst-case
width.
scenario.
Looking at the size, I'd say 100.
Okay.
but you said that there's interim steps that we could take. I mean, we have to be smart, right? So
Well, the interim
you're
steps would just be
saying if he
patching it.
puts a new roof, it might not even last because of the other stuff that's going on.
You have to repair it. I just had my
Yeah,
roof done, you know,
yeah.
we had to repair things before we could put roof down.
And that's what
Yes.
happens, especially with as old as this one is. And like I said, I walked it myself, so I'm not relying on somebody
Well, a picture
else's.
tells 1,000 words. If anybody wants to see a picture of the roof, you can see it. It's got cracks all over it,
I have plenty more here,
water
Marge.
stains all inside,
If we
so.
were to send either Public Works up there to patch it or
Can you make a set of
Abs-
recommendations,
Yeah,
maybe?
rip
have
that up.
someone else
Well,
patch it?
I was up there with Rob from Public Works, only because John doesn't like climbing ladders, and I respect that, but he and I were up there. And, you know, he had said, I believe he said to me as we were walking around, he's like, you know, if we got, some tar and started just over all these longitudinal cracks, even the proposal from the contractor says if nobody goes up there, even his temporary repair will work, which is an option, but he said if somebody goes up there, however, it's no guarantee, if someone walks on the roof and creates a crack on the membrane, since it's already burned out, or from the weight of the snow during the winter, new damage won't be created on the roof. It would be created on the roof, is what he's saying, and therefore he wouldn't be responsible. As soon as you go up there, you make things, I mean, it happened on another roof. The guy put the whole new roof down, but somewhere along the way, somebody just, stepped over the ductwork. Whatever they did, it moved the ductwork a little bit, and then the next rain, there's water coming, and roofs are that sensitive. So it's just,
You gotta start from
once you
scratch.
open this up, you'll see, and Ted, you just explained yourself, you open up, you find out there's bad plywood, there's bad wood here, and there's planks. It looks like there's planks from underneath, but maybe there's plywood laid over the top of that when the more recent roof was put on. I don't know.
I get it, because like I said, I'm dealing with a 100-year-old
Yeah,
building.
start
Every
from
time they
scratch.
peel something back,
Yeah,
they're
rip it
fixing
up.
something new.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So
First,
If I may
Yeah,
intervene.
rip it up.
By the look at this roof, most of these cracks are caused by age and time,
Oh,
expansion,
definitely.
contraction of the tar being that old. Now, if you go up there and just patch all these cracks that are currently there, seams, won't they just form more elsewhere where it's not patched?
I think it's only a temporary measure if you're going out to bid. So it would be something you would do because you said by the time we put money in place and put it out to bid and get a contractor, you don't want the water to continue
Oh,
to
you
come
don't.
through. That's the only reason I would suggest that, is not to let it continue the way it is.
Yeah.
And somebody should really talk to the people from the firehouse about all the other matters that are going on, whether it's, if we did something, go out to bid, or you decide to make an emergency, to know that it's not just what they see on the surface, that there's probably a lot more, and are those two what I think are cooking vents not used anymore, then they should be eliminated, and that should be closed off, and that should be flat. The fewer penetrations, the better it is.
You
That's
also
all.
said something about slanting that walkway roof
back.
away from the main roof, right?
All of us looked at that and said, we think that would be smarter.
These vent?
So maybe get recommendations to move forward
The
from
vents
roofs for temporary as we move forward to do
Well, I
some,
think having Public Works, if they can handle doing the patching, let them
Right.
do
They
it.
put a whole new thing in there.
The screws are rusted and they move in the breeze. You go up there and lean on them, they rock back and forth. So it's not helping anything. Rain can get right under them and come down.
It's old.
Yeah, no, I'm not being critical of it. It's just, there's more to be done than just putting a membrane down is all I'm saying.
That's old.
And who knows when you take those apart, whether they need to be replaced, So I'm not trying to make a monster out of it for you, but there's just more that I don't think this number would be your final number. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think that covers everything, and I can apologize for my lateness.
Yeah, I want to talk about,
John, you had something you
I
wanted
want to
to
talk
add?
about this.
What do you got?
I want to talk about that.
Oh, we're not going to discuss that.
Yeah, but I'm going to make a resolution for the next meeting.
What is it?
I just want to double check that you can cancel
I can't even see what you got.
Deputy clerk.
Let him talk about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to pass a resolution for Kim Zielinski, deputy clerk, and make her
Just check it.
officially in the job that she does for the town under Patricia Di Stefano. And she needs an assistant, which she is an assistant, but I want to put her as official. Officially, for the procedures of a deputy clerk. She has her credentials, does a fantastic job. $16 an hour, and she deserves 18 what she does. Now, the woman does her work. Nobody ever complaining about it, I don't think either. So as far as that's concerned. So I like to make a resolution to put it down at the next meeting, deputy clerk, officially.
a change of title or an
Well,
increase
Title and an
too?
increase. Deputy
Okay.
clerk and a $2 an hour increase.
So,
Jose?
There's a memo in your packet for you all to review before you make your decision.
I'm fine.
Well, the
I
only
agree.
issue is that whatever we have in the budget, we can't change. Usually that's done at budget time. So I mean, I'd have to ask the administration
well, I
to.
mean, we could, this is argumental, it's just brought it
No,
up.
it's just, is it in the
It's
budget? That's the only question.
16 she gets now, we want to, well,
But you
let's see
can't
what.
change
But we have to
things.
see.
I know, I understand that.
That's the
I
only
understand
question.
that.
Is
I
it
understand
there?
that.
Is it there to do
Well,
that? That's-
she gets 16 now, right?
Project it out and see.
They'd have to project out the figures and see.
All right, yeah, but she gets what she gets now. I'm talking about her classification, which is what I like to see it to be.
We can do the resolution for the classification and move her to deputy, but again, we have to go back and see what Joe says in terms of making the monetary change because we're already into the budget cycle. So that would be Joe Zanga that's got to give us.
I get the mayor involved in this. Come on.
I can't give an answer yet.
Anything else, John?
Yeah, that's it for me now.
Thank you. This time I'll entertain a motion open to the public.
Motion to open to the public?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This time we're open to the public. You can come up, state your name, where you live, and you're free to discuss whatever you'd like.
Cheryl Bass, 289 Main Street. Councilwoman Drozd was talking about our lake, that when it rains because of development in East Brunswick and development in Cranberry, that our lake is subject to a lot of water coming in, flooding, I guess would be the word to use. Over the course of the years, our state senator has been talking about the lake, that our state senator is going to help us with the lake. Is that possible currently? I think this election, the state senator, the state assembly people are up for election. Have they stepped forward to comment on the lake?
Yeah. Zero.
Yes. Actually, while everybody's looking around, I mean,
Zero.
actually, Senator Greenstein has been in contact with me, and I'm supposed to actually meet with her next week to discuss this a little further. I know that Assemblyman Benson, right? Am I right? He's also working on it.
Assemblyman Benson.
Benson, he's also working on it. But it takes time. I mean, how long have we been working with the lake now?
She has been the state senator. He has been the assemblyman for Hurricane Irene, Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy was 2012. So the lake has been there. The lake has been there.
Our
We've
mayor is
had the
working on
problem.
it.
What?
Our mayor is working
Cheryl,
on
we're
it.
going to keep on that there, and I'm going to stay on it there till the ears come off. And that lady's going to hear a lot from me, and then that fella too, the animal. He's
right.
Oh yes.
Okay.
You know, they want to
Okay.
shake hands about election time. Well, they ain't shaking no hand here.
Okay.
We got John on him.
That's the way. Go let him know. And is this the last time the public can speak? Or is there more? Is there another?
Tonight, this is the last.
This is it, okay, because I have a safety issue. Okay, I used to come up each year, Mayor Zagnut, Mayor Barlow, and I would say when I'm pulling out of the condo, Brookview Terrace, and I'm trying to go to the left, there was a tree. And I said, the tree doesn't have the branches going up anymore. The branches go out into the street, and you got to trim the tree. And every year, the tree would be trimmed. Well, finally, the tree got so bad that the overhead wire people, they said, we're taking out the tree, and they took out the tree. Since that point in time, a business has opened across the street, and as far as I can tell, that property was sold to that business because they have signs now that say private property. And they put up on the weekend a big wide board sign that says parking here with an arrow. And when you're pulling out of Brookview Terrace and you're looking to go to the right, to go to the left, you cannot see the oncoming traffic coming from the left because the board is so wide and you can't see around it. And if you pull out too much, you're subject to having your car hit. So there was a time when the signs were moved further back from the front of the road. And I said, oh, somebody must have complained, and they moved the sign. But then the sign got put back right by the roadway. And it is obstruction of sight. And it's a safety issue because you have to pull out. There's a pottery place right across the street. They are looking to pull out into Main Street. And then you have this business. You have the parking on this side. You have the business on that side. And it's a lot of traffic. so it's a safety issue.
Dawn, can
And I
you
don't
have
think I'm
Sergeant
the
Mayo
only one
address that?
complaining. I would think other people would be.
We're going to have Sergeant Mayo address that.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
That's it, that's it.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Cheryl, you're absolutely right. I went by there it was very busy because the people that are parking across the street are walking back and forth across the street.
What?
I don't know if there's crosswalks there or whatever, but
What lot are they talking about?
it's, the Meads lot, is it the
Yes,
Meads,
the
right?
Meads lot.
The Meads lot.
no longer
They're using
Meads.
it now for
Oh,
the
they sold it?
parking.
Going
sold it.
across the street to the store.
Really?
Yeah, they sold it.
Well,
They sold it.
Yeah.
very luckily, we have a very successful business in town. I hear that clothing store is known throughout the state. People are coming from
You
all
should
over.
see,
Oh, yeah.
you should have saw all the cars in
Yeah.
that lot. It was amazing to see.
Yes.
But it is a safety
that's-
issue. Cheryl, thank you for bringing that to our
It's a
attention.
wholesale store. Retail stores in the plaza. Doesn't make sense.
Jackie Palmer, Shupin Street.
Jackie, Monmouth University.
Jackie Palmer, 9 Shupin Street. Thank you, Pat, for providing those additional bird construction bids that seem to have been missing from the Oprah request. My question is, who originally built that dock? And in what year? Does anybody remember?
It was an Eagle Scout project.
No, it was
That was
built.
a repair.
That was
Oh, oh.
repair. It was built way before that. It was
Okay.
probably before I moved to town, I don't know.
So it was in place. And when did the Eagle Scouts fix it?
They did it with the help of South River Public Works, right, to put the pilings in? Because the guy from Public Works in South River was telling me that they lent their equipment for this, but it was huge for an Eagle Scout project, and I think it wasn't, there was issues with the construction, so, but Jack, I can't remember, maybe 15 years ago?
The Eagle Scout didn't do it 15 years ago, right?
No, it was during Tom Barlow's time, I think, the Eagle Scouts.
So it was before Hurricane Irene that the Eagle Scouts fixed it? Did they fix it before or after you went out to bid for it?
At this point, we can't discuss the bids. No comments at all. It's in the hands of the prosecutor's office.
I'm aware.
There'll be no discussion on that portion of it.
Does that mean that there'll be no discussion about the money?
There'll be no discussion on anything to do with what you brought up to us at the last meeting. It is now in the hands of the prosecutor's office, and until that matter is closed, we're not at liberty to talk about it.
That's interesting, because it's public record, and I spent the better part of the past few days reading all of the minutes for the council. So I could tell you the timeline, but I'll share that with the prosecutor's office then. So another question, who, if anybody, and I'm just asking this question, who reviews the minutes prior to them being submitted to council for approval? Are they?
View them, they come in the form of an email from either Pat or Kim prior to meeting nights. We used to print them out and include them, but now we're just getting them emailed. We review them in our email.
And you can decide to keep things in there, take them out, or?
If the minutes are accurate and nobody catches anything, they're going to go as she produced
As
them.
submitted.
If we see something, whoever sees something, if anyone sees it, we'll let Pat know, and that'll get changed.
Just because I'm in my review, because one of my favorite things to do is do my homework, I noticed that years, 2011, 12, 13, 14, the minutes were very explicit when you read them. So any conversation that we had was very well laid out. Starting around 2015, mid-year, stop doing that. So any of the minutes would say, Jackie Palmer stood up and asked about the dock, period. Council President Ritchie answered, period. So if somebody were reading those minutes, they wouldn't have no idea what actually went on.
But we also have the video of the minutes.
That's correct.
Now.
I understand. So if they were Oprah requested, all those videos would be provided under the Oprah request as well? Okay.
I believe they're archived on YouTube.
Oh, no,
our website
yes,
anyway.
they are. But they don't go back as far So what I'm saying is some of
That's when
them,
we started.
yes, but some of them, the minutes still, when we're videotaping, have very explicit minutes to them. I thought the same thing, that, well, they're videotaped, but didn't really coincide. So I was just curious if there was a reason that we were just leaving things out of the written minutes as opposed to spelling things out the way we had
Jackie,
been.
I gotta object to that, because really, Pat's been our
I'm not at all saying that it's, I'm asking only,
The minutes do not have to be verbatim. So they are done according to what we can put in them. We don't have to say, Jackie said, blah, 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 blah.
I
We don't have
agree.
to. It's not necessary.
I was just asking what the change was, because Pat's been doing them for
well,
a
Kim and I
bazillion
both
years,
did them.
and all of a sudden, there was a change. So my question originally was, who looks at them, and is the change made because you guys say you don't need to put that in there? Or we're just making that assumption to just not
Again,
spell it
unless
out?
we see something collectively or individually that's not correct, then we'll bring it to Pat's attention. If everything is what we had during the meeting, they're going to go through.
I have to say, I have never seen in my time serving that anyone has asked for anything to be deleted from minutes. Never.
Like I said, I went blind, quite honestly. But I learned a lot of things, learned a lot of stuff. Very good tidbits to learn if you read all the minutes from the Borough Council. Last question, maybe, because I can't bring up the other issue that I had brought up either, because that's in the hands of the prosecutor as well, I'm assuming.
Exactly.
What's the next steps on EMS? Last meeting, Marge made her presentation, the committee gave a recommendation. It was the anticipation that we were being rushed to give everybody an answer as to what we're doing. We did that, and nothing.
I have requested a review by our CFO of the mayor and business administrator of the financial impact. I wanted to see that certified by our CFO. I know that's one thing I'm waiting for, but I don't know where we're going otherwise.
EMS is moving along. Suffice it to say, it's not going to go away, okay? But we're trying to figure out if it's going to work in this budget cycle or if it has to be in the next one, but it's in place. The movement to keep it here is in place. We have acquired the other ambulance, or we will acquire the other ambulance shortly. We may still be acquiring something from the other town that was willing to do the $1 deal, but that's kind of where it's at right now. The mayor and the CFO have taken it, and they're going to look into it.
And so we're just going to continue, I guess, to just make the EMTs that work for us and Dave, who's put a lot of hard work in this, and everybody just wait.
The wait may be 2 weeks, it may be 2 months. It's in the administration's hand at
Could
this
be 2 years,
won't
like
be
this
2
process was.
It won't be 2 years. We finally came to something with it. It will not be 2 years because before there was zero direction from the guy that sat at the end. We have direction now. You could see where things have gone, okay? I'm telling you, EMS is here to stay for the time being. It's a matter of whether we can make it work in this budget cycle or not, the way it was proposed. But either way, EMS is sticking around. We're
And
moving
Jackie,
ahead with it.
The advisory council, I'll probably start those meetings in July, once a month. We're going to move forward with that, I think, because of the momentum that we have from the committee. And I'm hoping that at that point, we'll have some definitive answers, and we can all move forward. In fact, I asked Dave for his feedback from the other employees of the EMS, and he said it was very positive. I think I don't know how many views the presentation got on YouTube, but I know I got feedback from some of the firemen who've seen it. They were it was very positive, the feedback on the presentation and on the work that the committee did. So,
Well, it's definitely a positive step in the right direction.
yeah,
It was a fantastic idea,
yeah.
to put that committee together, so
It is
kudos
moving
again, Ed.
along. It's not forgotten.
What I don't want to happen is that we lose morale, that's up again, right? And
I
then
think the
as
morale
things
issue-
don't,
I think the morale issue is probably calmed down there now because they know They're still coming to work tomorrow, and they're still coming to work next week. So I think we're okay in that respect right now. Again, this is strictly about dollars and cents right now, where it's being, what's being looked at. There's no, there's nothing there that says we're not going to keep moving forward. Right now, the intention is to keep it going. We're going to keep it through the end of the year. If it has to start in the next budget cycle, if we can bring it in this budget cycle, we will. But again, this is administration and the CFO. They're the ones that have to see if it can work. Just like we said about Kim, about changing her money. This is all something that, we're into the budget cycle now.
So does the administration have a projected timeframe that they're going to get that information back to you?
I don't believe it's come to that point yet. They're still working on it.
Okay.
Jackie, they're working on it. It doesn't get better than that right now.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than
And
that.
I don't ever go away, so it doesn't matter if
welcome to come back
in 6 months from now I ask you the same question.
Back every 2 weeks, but at least it's moving
It's
ahead.
fine. That's the
Marge
answer
isn't
that
gonna let
needs
it
to be
go.
said, because silence went across about EMS this meeting. Marge gave an update every single meeting since January when we started meeting. Today, silence on EMS. So I have to ask the question so that you could give the answer.
But that's where we're at right now.
Thank you.
And when we have a definitive answer for you, we will present it.
Okay.
But at this point, it's staying. Morale down there should be going in this direction now.
Fingers crossed.
They know down there that we're not getting rid of them.
Council President.
I'm assuming that your people know we're not getting rid of them, correct?
Council
They
President.
They have the belief. They have the belief that we're staying.
Okay,
Are they looking for something more solid?
of course they are. But they understand where we're at right now, and I'm assuming morale is moving north rather than south.
Morale is actually a very good point right now.
In the building, Bruce, you're thinking the estimate to get that building completed is still the fall, October?
September, I thought.
September.
First week of
September? Well, wow, that's terrific. Good.
Everything is moving in a good position, to a good spot. We're not gonna let this go after the time that went into it.
John?
The mayor doesn't want to let it go, nor does anyone else. John?
Last meeting, like I said, the acting director over there, Dave Nichols, I met you last week, right? Twice I saw you. Finally got a hold of you, and we talked at the senior center, and looked very good as far as talking to you and your background and all that stuff, and and your guys were there. And I asked you a few things. How's is it working? It's good. It's this. We got a few more people. Thanks for that. And like the council president says, the morale's good. In fact, you said it yourself, and which is good. And see, right now the arena is like tightened up. Everybody, everybody wants this and wants that. We don't understand that. Like the council president's budget time. $2, they jump at you. You know what I mean, for $2. So now the arena's getting tight. So now it's got to loosen up a little bit. As long as these guys are there every day, they do their job, they come home, they come back, or whatever, this and that, that's what counts. Am I right, Mrs.
Yes.
Strauss?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, they come back to work. The thing is, they got, they like what they do for a living. I mean, that's what it's about. And it's good. You're a hell of a guy, I got to tell you something. As far as I'm concerned, you should be the director, period. We got to put the acting out. Okay?
Chief, not director, chief.
Chief.
He's director now. that's
Some
what I'm saying.
ordinances to work on. We've discussed that also.
Yeah.
You got to get that out of there. So, but as far as your people are great, from what I saw, it was very nice. So, look, I'd rather see things stay here in town. Like I say, it's all about money, which it always is. It's always about money, and the funds come in. It's tight. It's not rapid funds, and the revenue's not. It doesn't come in. And I said that before I even got on this place here. I've said that as I was sitting over there. I knew that right away. There's no revenue here, and it's tough. You have to cut corners if you could. Sometimes you can't. You absolutely can't. You want to trust the other guy with a contract? Go ahead. Take a shot. Take a shot. But I'd rather see my people do it. That's like you, everybody, all of us. I'd rather see our people do it. So, like I say, the arena's tight. That's what it's about. So I think, like the council president said, let it calm down a little bit. We'll see how things work out. I think
The
the mayor,
consensus is it's staying.
I don't want the mayor to get mad at me.
The mayor don't get mad, he gets even.
It's interesting.
Jackie, I want to answer you before you leave, okay? I am currently looking at numbers with the CFO, for sure, because we're preparing a statement that's going to have solid, no guesswork numbers, so everybody will know exactly what it's going to go down to. I also have not taken the time yet to sit down with Marge and Ted to go over the committee's report, which you know I like, but I want to go over with them and get consensus with them as well. So I would say probably more definitive answers within a month. I'm just being fair. I mean,
No,
I've
thank
got a
you.
lot going on, and
No, I appreciate that. and
nothing's
that's
going
what-
on the wayside. We know how I feel about this, so.
Right, and that's what I wanted.
And I
because-
understand everybody else is hanging on, I know, but it's like, like that cat hanging on the rope. Just hang in there, baby, we're going. All right?
Thank you.
Forging ahead.
Very good.
Would anyone else like to come up and speak?
Where's that fella? I know.
We're really going to have to get a traveling microphone.
We just said that, Ted and I just said
We'll need
that.
that.
Because, it'll be a lot easier for some people.
Yeah, I agree.
Pat, do we have
'Cause
a
I know I feel
microphone?
like Ed does sometimes.
Wireless? I think we start bringing that out at the next meeting.
Good evening, Ed Smith, 395 Old Stage Road. And no disrespect to Kim. I think she's a great employee, right? I've worked with her, okay, on different projects that involve both the county and the town and the borough, okay? But I think the talk about personnel, we've been chased out of this room many times over personnel issues, right? When you go to closed meetings, and I think that's something that should have been either stopped, okay, before it got that far along, or it should have said, we'll have to take that up in a closed meeting. Thank you.
Good point.
Ed, you should just sit in the front row.
Just because you have grandchildren, don't let it mean that.
Well,
Just to respond to that, if Kim's aware that it's going to be brought out publicly, then it can be done in the public. It doesn't have to go private,
Okay.
as long as she doesn't object to it.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. That's a perfect explanation. I've always seen where we've been.
It's usually in the group functions, the unions and things of that nature that it goes,
Okay, that's
because
fine.
we're voting
I
on
just
those things.
thought, it may have put her in an uncomfortable situation for something that I've never seen done here before.
No, this is something that
Okay, fine.
was pulled around.
Enough said.
Okay?
Thank you. Yep.
Anyone else? Frank?
I don't know if he heard you. Did he hear you?
There's no further public discussion?
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Second, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.